The Great Flood. The flood story appears across almost every ancient civilization, which makes you wonder if something catastrophic actually happened. In the Hebrew Bible, God sees that humanity has become corrupt and violent. His solution? Drown everything. He tells Noah to build an ark or simply a massive wooden vessel and save his family plus 2 of every animal. Then the sky opens. Rain falls for 40 days and 40 nights. Water covers even the highest mountains. Everything dies except what's on that boat. The Quran tells essentially the same story with Prophet Nuh. He preaches for 950 years. Yes, 950 years begging his people to change. But they mock him and refuse. So God sends the flood. The water rises so high that Nuh's own son drowns, even as his father begs him to board the ark. The oldest version comes from ancient Mesopotamia. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, a man named Utnapishtim receives warning from the god Ea that the other gods plan to flood the earth. He builds a boat, survives, and is granted immortality. Sodom and Gomorrah. According to Genesis, these 2 cities became so morally corrupt that God sent angels to investigate. The angels visit Lot, Abraham's nephew, and that night, men from the city surround Lot's house demanding to assault his guests. This isn't just wickedness. It's depravity so normalized that the entire city participates. God's decision is immediate. He tells Lot to flee with his family and not look back. Then fire and brimstone rain from the sky. The biblical text says smoke rose like the smoke of a furnace. Everything burned and everyone died. The Islamic tradition in the Quran confirms this destruction, emphasizing that Prophet Lut warned the people repeatedly about their sexual immorality and violence. They ignored him. The punishment came as a devastating storm of stones, flipping the cities upside down. Lot's wife becomes a tragic footnote. Despite clear warnings not to look back, she does. She's instantly transformed into a pillar of salt, forever frozen in that moment of disobedience and longing for what was. The people of Ad destroyed by wind. The Quran describes the tribe of Ad as giants blessed with incredible strength and prosperity. They lived in what's now southern Arabia, building massive pillars and monuments. They had everything like wealth, power, security. This made them arrogant. God sent Prophet Hud, one of their own, to warn them. Worship God alone. Treat people justly. Stop your corruption. The Ad laughed at him. They literally said, "Who is stronger than us?" They believed their physical might made them invincible. God's response came as wind. But the Quran's description is terrifying. A furious wind that was icy cold and lasted 7 nights and 8 days. Islamic scholars describe it as a roaring hurricane that picked up grown men and smashed them against rocks and ground. The wind was so violent it ripped apart their buildings and turned their bodies into scattered bones. Here's what makes this punishment particularly sophisticated. There was no fire to escape or flood to climb above. The very air became a weapon. You can't hide from wind. It finds every crack, every shelter, every hiding place. The Ad, who prided themselves on strength, were destroyed by something invisible and impossible to fight. When the wind finally stopped, the entire civilization was gone. Their great pillars stood empty. Their cities became graveyards filled with sand. Archaeological sites in the region called Iram of the Pillars might be connected to this story. The ruins of a once great civilization swallowed by desert. The people of Thamud and the cry from heaven. The Thamud came after the Ad and should have learned from their predecessors' fate. They didn't. They lived in Al-Hijr in northwestern Arabia and were famous for carving elaborate homes and tombs into rock faces. These weren't simple caves. They were architectural marvels with decorated facades. The Thamud felt secure, believing their mountain homes made them permanent. God sent Prophet Salih with a miraculous sign, a pregnant she-camel that emerged from solid rock. The instructions were simple. Let her drink from the well on her day, don't harm her, and you'll be fine. This she-camel wasn't just an animal. She was a test of obedience and restraint. The wealthy leaders of Thamud hated this restriction. They convinced someone to kill the camel. Prophet Salih warned them, "You have 3 days." They mocked him, demanding he bring the punishment immediately if he was telling the truth. On the 3rd day, it came. The Quran describes a sayha, or an overwhelming blast or cry from heaven. Some interpretations suggest it was a sound so intense it stopped hearts. Simultaneously, an earthquake struck. In one moment, the entire population died. No injuries or survivors struggling, just instant death. When morning came, they lay motionless in their stone houses, bodies intact but lifeless. Their elaborate rock-carved homes became their tombs. The ruins still exist today at Madain Salih in Saudi Arabia, a UNESCO World Heritage Site where you can see the carved facades they died inside. Prometheus, chained to the rock. Greek mythology approaches divine punishment differently than other traditions. The gods are powerful but flawed, and their punishments often reveal their petty jealousies as much as their justice. Prometheus was a titan who sided with Zeus during the war against the older gods, but Prometheus loved humanity more than he feared Zeus. When Zeus decided to withhold fire from humans, keeping them cold and helpless, Prometheus stole it. He literally climbed to the heavens, took fire from the god's realm, and gave it to humanity hidden in a hollow fennel stalk. Zeus was enraged. His punishment was calculated cruelty. Prometheus was chained to a rock in the Caucasus Mountains. Every day, an eagle, Zeus's sacred bird, flew down and tore open his abdomen to eat his liver. Every night, because Prometheus was immortal, his liver regenerated, and every morning the eagle returned. This continued for thousands of years until Heracles finally freed him. The punishment's brilliance lies in its endlessness. Death would be mercy. The liver was chosen deliberately. Ancient Greeks believed it was the seat of human emotion, so the pain was both physical and psychological. Sisyphus and the Rolling Stone. Sisyphus was king of Corinth and one of Greek mythology's cleverest mortals, but too clever for his own good. He committed multiple offenses against the gods. He told the river god Sisyphus that Zeus had kidnapped his daughter. When Zeus sent Thanatos, the personification of death, to punish him, Sisyphus tricked Thanatos and chained him up. With death himself imprisoned, nobody could die. The world fell into chaos until Ares freed Thanatos. When Sisyphus finally died, he convinced Persephone to let him return to the living world briefly to arrange his funeral. He then refused to return to the underworld. It took Hermes, the god's messenger, to drag him back. The gods decided regular punishment wasn't enough. They needed something that matched his cunning with divine irony. In Tartarus, the deepest part of the underworld, Sisyphus must push a boulder up a mountain. Just as he reaches the summit, the boulder rolls back down. He would walk down, shoulders the boulder again, and pushes forever. Arachne turned into a spider. Arachne was a mortal weaver whose skill was extraordinary. People came from across Greece to watch her work, saying her talent must be a gift from Athena, goddess of wisdom and crafts. Arachne's response was pure hubris. "I'm better than Athena. I learned nothing from her. If she disagrees, she can challenge me." Athena, disguised as an old woman, warned her to show more respect. Arachne refused, so Athena revealed herself and accepted the challenge. Both wove tapestries. Athena's tapestries depicted the glory of the gods and the punishment of mortals who defied them, a clear warning, while Arachne's showed the gods' crimes, Zeus's countless affairs, gods deceiving mortals, divine hypocrisy. Her technical skill was flawless and her subject matter, blasphemous. Athena, enraged, destroyed the tapestry and struck Arachne. Overcome with shame and fear, Arachne tried to hang herself. Athena prevented her death but transformed her instead. Arachne's body shrank, her arms became legs, her fingers fused into spinnerets. She became the first spider, doomed to weave forever, but never as a celebrated artist, but as a creature most people fear or crush. Niobe turned to stone. Niobe was queen of Thebes and mother to 14 children, 7 sons and 7 daughters. She had everything like power, wealth, a large, loving family. But then, she made a catastrophic mistake. During a festival honoring Leto, mother of Apollo and Artemis, Niobe publicly mocked the goddess. "Why worship Leto? She only has 2 children. I have 14. I'm more worthy of your prayers than she is. My fertility proves my superiority." The insult reached Leto, who called upon her children to defend her honor. Apollo and Artemis descended from Olympus with their bows. They found Niobe's 7 sons practicing athletics and shot them all one by one. Then they hunted her 7 daughters. Niobe begged them to spare at least one child. They refused, and all 14 died. Niobe collapsed in grief so profound she couldn't move, eat, or speak. She sat among her dead children. The gods, perhaps feeling some measure of pity or simply wanting to preserve her suffering, transformed her into stone, specifically a weeping rock. Greek travelers reported seeing this rock on Mount Sisyphus in modern Turkey, where a rock formation resembles a woman's face, with mineral deposits streaming down like tears. Whether real or invented, the image captures this punishment. The destruction of Pompeii. On August 24, 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted with catastrophic force. The Roman city of Pompeii, along with nearby Herculaneum, was buried under volcanic ash and pumice. A column of ash and rock rose 20 miles into the sky. When it collapsed, superheated gas and rock fragments swept down the mountain at over 400 miles per hour, reaching temperatures of 570 degrees Fahrenheit. Death was instant for anyone caught in it. Many Romans interpreted this as divine punishment. Pompeii was known for luxury, decadence, and moral corruption. The city's extensive brothels, erotic artwork, and wealthy excess seemed to mirror the sins of Sodom and Gomorrah. When Vesuvius exploded, it appeared the gods like Jupiter, Vulcan, or perhaps all of them had passed judgment. The ash preserved Pompeii in extraordinary detail. Archaeologists discovered people frozen mid-action, a mother covering her child, a man clutching his money, even a dog still chained in a courtyard. The volcanic material created hollow spaces around decomposing bodies. By filling these voids with plaster, researchers created casts showing people's final moments. One famous cast shows a man lying face down, hands covering his head, body twisted in agony. Another shows a family huddled together, and even a pregnant woman died protecting her belly. Loki bound beneath the serpent. Loki was the trickster god. He was clever, chaotic, sometimes helpful, but ultimately destructive. His crimes accumulated over time. He cut off the goddess Sif's hair. He caused the death of Balder the Beautiful through deception, and he insulted the gods repeatedly. After Balder's death, the gods' patience ended. They hunted Loki down and captured him. They took his son Narfi and transformed him into a wolf, who then killed his brother Vali. Using Vali's intestines, they bound Loki to 3 rocks deep underground. They positioned a giant serpent above him, whose fangs continuously dripped burning venom onto his face. In this punishment, Loki's wife Sigyn would remain loyal. She would hold a bowl to catch the venom, but when the bowl fills and she must empty it, drops fall on Loki's face. The pain is so intense that his writhing shakes the earth itself, which Norse people explained as earthquakes. This punishment lasts until Ragnarok, the prophesied end of the world. At that time, Loki will break free and lead an army of giants and monsters against the gods in a final battle that destroys everything, allowing a new world to emerge from the ashes. These 10 punishments vary, but the message stays constant. Some forces operate beyond human control, and recognizing your limits means survival. Which one are you convinced it happened? Let us know in the comments.